First of all, I did wear my Salute the Service Eagles hat tonight. Big shout out to the troops, because you know what, win or lose, week after week, it's people like the brave men and women who either served or serve this country that can never be forgotten and never be thanked enough for what they do. They're the real heroes in this world, whether it's the troops, whether it's the firefighters, the police officers, the medical personnel. These are people that save lives, and these are people that protect this country. And Veterans Day is today, and it's a day to to pay tribute to the brave men and women. And I know we have Veterans Day, Memorial Day, days like that, but it's really an everyday type deal. It can never be said enough. So thank you all for what you do. That being said, we had a game played tonight that was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. I know he won't be fired, but I want Jim Schwartz out of here tonight. I want Jeffrey Lurie to get rid of him, because this guy is such an arrogant SOB. And every week he sits here and he spins a yarn about what his defense is and what his schemes are, and they're absolute garbage. This defense hasn't showed up since the NFC title game last season. The Super Bowl, Tom Brady had his best statistical Super Bowl in his career, and that's saying something, because that's Tom Brady. Okay, thank God that Brandon Graham made that strip sack, because Brandon Graham saved Jim Schwartz, saved his bacon last season in that Super Bowl. If Brandon Graham doesn't make that play, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion, because Tom Brady goes down the field and they score. The Eagles' defense couldn't stop him the whole game. And that's Jim Schwartz's defense doing that. Okay? This season, all season. Now, look, last season, here's the difference between this season and last season. Last season, this offense was scoring 30-plus points a game. They were one of the top offenses in the league. They scored a ton. And it's easier to play defense when your offense is scoring that much, because your opponent becomes one-dimensional. You can't run the ball as much. You got to throw the ball more. It leads to more turnovers. And last season, the Eagles were better at getting pressure on the opposing quarterbacks than they are this season. They got a ton of turnovers because there was more opportunities at turnovers. You're not having that this season, okay, because the offense isn't scoring as much. It's closer games. Teams can run the ball, have that balance that they couldn't quite have last season. The New Orleans Saints have the number one rush defense in the league this season. There's a reason for that. It's because their offense scores 40-plus points a game, and it makes their opponent one-dimensional. They have to throw. And teams go up against the Saints thinking you have to throw because you're going up against Drew Brees. Last season, the Eagles had the top rushing defense in the league because a lot of teams had to throw against them. And when they did run the ball, the Eagles were good against the run. They were better against the run last season than what we've seen this season in certain games, tonight being one of them. That Herman Munster-looking freaking Zeke Elliott runs all over them in the second half. And you know what? When you're playing against an opponent, and a wounded opponent, Dallas, make no mistake, they were wounded coming into this game. They lost the national televised home Monday night game against the Titans, who, look, they beat the Patriots today. They beat us earlier in the season, so not for nothing, but the Titans have knocked off some good teams, right? Dallas loses to them. The Eagles have a bye week. They come in off that bye week, and they look sluggish to start the game offensively. Not getting much of anything going. Carson Wentz throws an interception to Van Den Esch early in the game. The offense is doing nothing the entire first half. They get 3 points off a bye week. And sometimes you have teams that have a bye week. You're going to see that at times because they're not quite in rhythm, in sync. They hadn't played the week before. It happens. But for a whole freaking first half, defensively, it was a nightmare. And I know there's injuries. And that's not an excuse, because every team has injuries this time of year. It's the walking wounded on a lot of teams. But if you're good enough, you still win those games. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year with all the injuries. I don't want to hear about injuries. It is what it is. Dallas had injuries. We had injuries. The difference is they made plays on our defense, and we couldn't, and our defense couldn't do anything to stop them because they ran the same defense over and over again, because this is what Jim Schwartz does. He doesn't adjust. He doesn't change. When you're going up against Dak Prescott, How do you beat Dak Prescott? You get pressure on him. He's not an accurate passer on the run. He can run, he can move, he's a mobile quarterback, but he's not an accurate passer on the run. If you keep him in the pocket, he still isn't the most accurate in the world, but he can still make some plays, and that's what you saw. And oh, by the way, Zeke Elliott went off on you. When you're going up against Dallas and you know that this is a wounded team, and last week they didn't really establish a run game against the Titans, so you knew that this week they wanted to get Zeke going. And when you're going up against a team that's struggling and they have one great player on offense, you got to key on that player and try to stop him. You cannot let Zeke Elliott beat you. And that's exactly what this team did, particularly in the second half of this game. They allowed Zeke Elliott to beat you. Running, catching, unbelievable. Unbelievable. You have one job to do, and you can't do it. The tackling has been piss poor. It's been piss poor all season. Let's not look. This game, it's the most recent thing that we have in mind. So we all point to the tackling in this game. It's been going on all season. All season. The tackling has been abysmal at times. More times than not. Not being able to make stops on third down situations. Not getting turnovers. Again, tonight, no turnovers, 0 turnovers. You had a chance to get a pick 6 early in this game, and Grugier Hill lets the ball go right through he can't catch it. An opportunity, and like I said before this game, Dak will give you opportunities to get turnovers. You have to make the most of it, and they couldn't do it. I am so sick and tired of Jim Schwartz. I am so sick and tired of this Manila defense. Look, this is a city that loves defense. We love hard-nosed defense. We love defensive coordinators that have an idea of a defensive scheme and execute it. And yeah, a lot of those years the Eagles didn't win a Super Bowl, but we still love defenses in this town. And what we see this season, look, Fletcher Cox is a beast. Okay, he's a great defensive player. Even in a piss poor defensive system, he's still balling out every week. Give him high marks and credit. He missed a few plays today, but you know what? He's balled out all year. He's a real beast. Brandon Graham is a good player. They have good players, but it's not about just having good players. It's about having that system. And this defense, they line up like freaking toy soldiers. When it's third and long or fourth, they're lining up like nothing's going to be able to get past them. Okay, like they have this like impenetrable fence. It's just the most ridiculous thing, and we're sitting here as fans. People who don't play the game, people who aren't coaches in the game, who never coached or never played besides Madden on video game systems. Okay? But we're sitting here going, there's really no one in the middle. All you really have to do here is maybe do a little dump-off pass, a screen pass. You get blockers in front, and you can get those yards. Even if you don't get a first down on third and long, you get enough yards where you can go for it on fourth down, because now it's fourth and short. And I understand there's this fear of if you blitz and you get beat for a big play, but you know what? Those defensive coordinators who coach scared, they're the ones you don't see in the league anymore. They don't last very long. You can't coach scared. You have to have some sort of faith in your players that they can make plays. Oh, God. Oh, my nose is so freaking itchy. I'm sorry. I don't do drugs, but a game like this would probably lead you to it. I hate losing to Dallas. I hate the fact that we had a chance tonight to finish them. For the competitive phase of their season could have been over tonight, and we gave them new life. And frickin' Jim Schwartz. You let that pedestrian offense do what they did. And make no mistake, they are a pedestrian offense. They've been a pedestrian offense. You see these other games that other teams put against Dallas. They stop them. They make plays. This defense, no, that's all right. I don't know what the worst offense in the league is right now off the top of my head. I mean, there's a couple offenses that I can think of that look pretty bad so far this season. But if the Eagles played them, they would look great, right? I mean, the Redskins, what are they scoring, like 20 points a game? We play them twice. You watch. They're going to score 35 on the Eagles, okay? Because it's the same defense every week. And offensive coordinators and quarterbacks and players who study, they see what the Eagles do every week, and they know how to beat it. And they do consistently because the Eagles don't change. Jim Schwartz doesn't change. You got to bring more pressure. And I'm not saying blitz on every down, but you got to bring more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. You can't just play the way they're playing. I mean, the entire second half. You know, when the Eagles offense finally woke up and they're making plays and they're scoring, touchdowns, Dallas is matching it every single time. I'm sitting here going, okay, guys, maybe we got the momentum here. We tied it up. Let's make a stop. Let's get a stop. Get our hot offense back on the field. Nope. Here comes Dallas marching down the field. Zeke Elliott making plays. Dak Prescott making plays. I mean, these guys are looking like they were looking a few years ago when they weren't looking like that the whole season because they're playing the freaking Eagles defense and Jim freaking Schwartz, that moron. I speak like all of us do in Eagles Nation. I want this guy out of here. I want him gone, and I know it's not going to happen until the off season, and hope to God it happens in the off season. I want this guy out of here. I want a defensive coordinator who has a freaking clue to be the defensive coordinator of this team. Because they have talent on the defensive side of the ball. But they run this ridiculous Manila defense every week. Every damn week it's the same thing. And we all know what's going to happen. We all see the game. People either at the game or people like me are watching on TV. We all can tell you what's going to happen. And then it happens. Oh, gee, there's a surprise. I know it's hard to win in this league. I know. It's hard to be consistently good every year. It's why you marvel at what the Patriots have been able to do for over a decade now. Okay? And other teams like the Steelers and the Packers and these other teams that are always in the mix. Because it is hard. Winning consistently is a difficult thing. I still give credit. And I know that it didn't end in a Super Bowl championship, but I still give credit to what Andy Reid did here those years ago, back in the early 2000s when they were making their runs, because they were the one thing we knew about the Eagles back then is they were consistent. They were in the hunt every year. But here's the difference. They had a great defensive coordinator back then in Jim Johnson. Yeah, they had some great defensive players, but they put those players in the right positions. Because the defensive schemes were there. It didn't win a Super Bowl, I get that. They lost in heartbreak in NFC title games and then in the Super Bowl Super Bowl 39 to the Patriots. But they were there every year. And that's hard to do. And they were there. So, you give Andy credit. This team won the Super Bowl last year. And now they're 4-5. And it's not just that they're 4-5. They're losing at home. I mean, that home field advantage lasted a year. It sucks. I mean, you have a game tonight where you're coming off a bye week. You have a chance to have a statement game against a division rival and a team that, yes, you do have to beat because they're right there with you in the standings. You knew earlier today that the Redskins won, so they're 6-3. You had a chance, a golden opportunity, not only to pretty much end Dallas' season, but to keep pace with the Redskins, and you lose at home to Dallas, and you let that offense do what they did tonight. And yeah, their defense made some plays. Van Den Esch made a hell of a play on 3rd and 2. And that play in a nutshell just tells you about this team this season. You had two veteran offensive linemen going up against a rookie. One of them should have been able to push him off and allow Corey Clement to go to get the corner and get the first down and maybe even a touchdown on that play. But you let a rookie linebacker, and look, he looks like he's going to be a real good one, but you let a rookie linebacker beat both of you, make both of you look foolish, and get Clement for a loss on the play. And now it's 4th and 7. And here's the other thing about this team on 4th down plays. Why is it, and again, the creativity by Doug, I don't know where it's gone. Why is it on 4th down, on any 4th down, 3rd down, 4th down, why are you not trying to make a pass beyond the sticks? Why are we always trying to go 2 yards prior to the first down marker and let our guy just try to make the play? Throw the ball beyond the sticks. It's 4th and 7, and you throw a 4-yard pass, a 5-yard pass. In a nutshell, those 2 plays are just how this season's gone. It's opportunity lost on 2 plays. I mean, it was getting to a point in the second half where I was kind of hoping after the Eagles scored a touchdown that they would do an onside kick. Just try to keep the ball away from Dallas. I didn't think I would have to say that going into this game against that offense, but I'm thinking, okay, well, if you can't stop them defensively, how about try to keep the ball away from them? They won't see that coming, an onside kick. How about that? See, Andy used to do that type of stuff. The onside kicks and those different plays. Why not? Why not take a chance with an onside kick in one of those situations? Maybe you get the ball, you keep it away from that offense. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This has been this has been as frustrating a season that I can remember, and it's frustrating because I saw what they did a year ago, and I know it's hard to do it, and it's damn hard to repeat in this league. It's hard to repeat in any league unless you're the Warriors in basketball, but I did not see this season. I did not think, we would be in situations like this. I'm not saying this team was going to go, 16-0, but to be 4-5 and to look as piss poor as they've looked at times this season is ridiculous. And people are going to say, "Oh, it was a fluke last season." Bullshit. This team has talent on it. They still have a great quarterback in Carson Wentz. Who still has to really put it all together. I get that. There's still things he needs to learn. He's still young. He's a young quarterback. And I would still take him any day of the week. But Doug Peterson's got to get better with the play calling. And the players have to execute. I mean, bottom line, when you have a 4th and 7, you can't be throwing a 5 or 6 yard pass there. You can't do that. And I know you're throwing it to Zach Ertz. But you got to run a play that goes beyond the sticks. You got to get more creative. I'm not saying do the Philly special play, time and time again. But you got to get more creative on offense. Why were you not taking more shots downfield tonight? And I know Golden Tate, it was his first game here, and he only made a few plays, but I can't blame that. He just got here. I'm not going to look at Golden Tate and say, here's a guy that's going to get 100 yards and two touchdowns his first game. It would be nice. But, okay, you had other players, you had other weapons, and Golden Tate will be a part of this offense. I still firmly believe that. But no creativity. I did like the fact that they had to balance run the pass, but maybe even on 3rd and 2, why not run the ball there? If you know you're going to go for it on 4th down, and I know the play design was there to win with Corey Clement and Van Ness just made a hell of a play, but why not just run the ball? Sometimes you just outthink yourself. And at that point, you have Adams was having a decent game. Why not just line him up, go for it on 3rd and 2, hand the ball off, if maybe he gets the first down. Or maybe if any, all right, then it's 4th and 1 or something. I mean, it's different than 4th and 7. And even then, you should have through a play more than 5 or 6 yards. So that was a loss on all counts. It was a loss by the coordinator by Doug Peterson and the offensive coordinator to call that play, and it was a loss on Carson Wentz to throw that ball and not let Zach Ertz get beyond the sticks. And it was also a bad play by Zach Ertz, who had a great night and he's had a great year. But why are you running a route that doesn't get you the first down? You got to get beyond the first down marker there, Zach. And again, I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse. There is no excuse. Players get hurt every week in this league. Teams lose players every week. There's injuries all across the board. Dallas had injuries. It was a wounded animal that we salvaged their season tonight. And it sucks. I hate losing to that team. He had the freaking Clapper out coaching our Super Bowl winning coach tonight. Garrett, Mr. Smiley, Mr. Yeah, I hope he still stays there. I do. I hope they extend him. I really do. Maybe that's one good thing that came from this game. Maybe they just extend him. Keep him there, Mr. Inept. There's only so much you can do as a fan besides just watch the game and hope for the best. And sitting here watching this team this season, and look, I've sat through worse seasons than this, but sitting here and watching this, it has been really, really frustration beyond frustration beyond frustration, because the talent's there, but they're just not executing it. And it's not just the coaching. The players got to execute. Again, this defense isn't tackling worth shit. This offense is when there's plays to be made, aren't making plays at times. And it's just that I don't know what it is. Yes, there is such a thing as a Super Bowl hangover, and it doesn't really affect teams like the Patriots because they're used to it. And a team that just did it for the first time like the Eagles, there is such a thing of that. But, I mean, my God, it's just the same thing over and over again. It's the same story. You know what's going to happen. I mean, hell, next week, and we might as well just do early Christmas shopping or something. I mean, do we even want to, deal with that game next week at New Orleans? I mean, my God, they might put up 65 on this defense. They may put up 70 on this defense next week. That's no joke. That's no lie. I look at what that offense is doing, and we got Mr. Schwartz that can't adjust, won't bring any pressure, and Drew Brees is going to pick him apart next week. Absolutely pick him apart. Drew Brees might have his best game of his career next week, and that's saying something because that's Drew Brees. He may have the all-time greatest game as a quarterback in the history of the league next week against this defense. And you say, well, how are you saying that as an Eagle fan? Well, because I watch this team every week. I see what I see. I see this defense with the defensive schemes that don't bring any pressure, that we're just going to play coverage the whole time, and they get picked apart every week. Every damn week. So now you go up against a Drew Brees, who's a lot better than Dak Prescott, who's a lot better than Marcus Mariota, who's a lot better than Cam Newton, some of those quarterbacks that beat the Eagles this season. And I mean, it's gonna be a clusterfuck. It's gonna be a disaster. And I believe this offense will make some plays next week, and Carson might have a decent game. But defensively, I have no hope for this defense next week. Not any whatsoever. Not so much the players, but the coaching staff. Jim frickin' Schwartz. I have no faith in him at all that he's going to come up with any kind of defensive gem to be able to. I'm not saying stop the Saints, because you can't stop the Saints, particularly in the Dome. You can't stop them, but at least slow them down. I can't see it all. I mean, what was it? Thomas had the cell phone in the mimicking the Joe Horn play celebration a few weeks ago, and he got flagged for it. I mean, they might as well have a bunch of cell phones. They might as well have like a cell phone company in the end zone, for when they score, and just everyone grabs a phone. I think that would actually be pretty creative if you think about it. Right? They score and just have like a cart come out with cell phones and everyone grabs one. Instead of doing the group photo thing, just everyone grabs a cell phone and gets on it. That would be interesting. I would give them high marks if they did that. The Saints did that next week. My God, what they're going to do. If you for fantasy players, any Saint next week on offense, play him. Anyone. I don't care if it's the backup tight end. Play him. It doesn't matter. Everyone scores on the Eagles, which sucks, and it you would think that a defensive coordinator, if his defense keeps getting beat certain ways, you would try to do something different. You would try to change it. Maybe adjust a little bit, just a bit. I'm not asking for much. I'm just saying adjust just a bit, just a teensy little bit. No? Okay. So the Eagles go down 27-20. They wore black to a funeral. It was their own. It was good. We all thought it would be Dallas's funeral. No. Nope. The offense said, we'll show up in the second half, and Jim Short said, I'm not going to show up at all. Nah. The Giants might actually look good against us in a few weeks. I mean, Cal Pizzle might have something to talk about, besides just being angry at his team every week. I can't see this defense stopping anybody. I can't see us doing anything the rest of the way, to be honest. And it's not just because of the record. It's not just because they lost tonight. Tonight just furthers the frustration. I've seen it all year. I've seen this team just. I've seen this defense. I've seen this offense look sluggish. I've seen this defense not making any plays, not getting any freaking turnovers, not one. Can we get a turnover? Can we somehow, some way, get a turnover? No? Oh, we had one, but you didn't catch the ball, Grugier Hill. You had a chance to stem to get that big momentum early in the game, and you just let it go. Van Den Esch didn't let it go. That's why he's a special teamer. He should just stay on the special teams and not be out there as a linebacker, but no. This game is a game of adjustments. Any sport is about adjustments. When you don't adjust, you lose. You either adjust or you lose. This team does not adjust whatsoever, and they lose. They lose games that they shouldn't be losing. You had a dead-in-the-water team in your building this week, and you let them get out with a win because you didn't adjust at all. Jim fucking Shorts doesn't know how to adjust. And I hope they adjust him right out of here, because I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his damn arrogance. I'm sick of his damn face. I want him gone. Gone. Get us a real fucking defensive coordinator on this staff. Enough of this bullshit. I'm frustrated because I care. Because I care about this team. And I'm I thank God every day that they gave me a Super Bowl last year. They gave us all in Eagles Nation a Super Bowl last year because God knows we've earned it, okay? But this is ridiculous, watching this team play this year. And it's because they don't adjust. They do not adjust. And you let teams walk all over you in your own stadium. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Oh, we'll hear from Dallas fans this week because they won a game. Oh, now they're going to come out of from underneath their rocks. They'll call in the sports talk radio. They'll troll our channels on YouTube because they won a game. Then they lose. Then they all hide and disappear. So I don't give their local fans any credit at all. I don't even care about their local fans. Okay, I don't care about them because I know what they are. They're a bunch of mush. Okay, they're powder puff. Okay, they're like sand. You blow on them, they disappear. They lose games, they're gone. They're the invisible fans of the league. Now you see them, now you don't. It just depends on whether the team wins or loses. Look, Eagle fans, we make our videos after every week. Win or loss. You see us and you hear from us after every week, win or loss. But the local Dallas fans, oh no, the one thing we know, it's the same as taxes every year. They're going to show up when they win. They're not going to show up when they lose. Because that's what they are. Those local fans. Those, local fans. That's what they do. They love to troll and love to talk and beat their chests when they win. And talk about rings and this and that and the other thing. And then when they lose, they all go, well, what's football? What's football? Again, I'm frustrated and I'm upset because I'm a fan of this team and I know what they're capable of doing. If they would just damn well adjust in games, maybe they could win some more. Maybe some of these losses aren't losses, but they don't do it. And it's frustrating. Look, it's one thing if you lose and you're a bad team, and we've seen bad teams over the years. It's one thing to lose when you're a bad team. It's another thing to lose when you have talent on your team, but your coaching staff doesn't adjust. They do nothing. I don't know what the hell they do all week. I have no idea. What are they watching all week? Jim, what exactly is he doing? What's Doug doing this year? Exactly. Because he hasn't really adjusted either. This whole team has not adjusted week after week. It's the same deal. You know what's going to come. You know what's going to happen, and it happens every week. So now they got to go to New Orleans. Probably get their rears handed to them by the Saints. And I can say that because I'm a fan of this team. I'm not saying that because I'm just giving up. I'm throwing in the towel, whatever. I'm done. I'm not saying that, but I know. I know because I know that this team will not adjust. I know that particularly this defensive coordinator will not adjust. And I know the Saints are going to pick them apart next week. And we're probably going to lose. And then we're going to go up against the Giants next week. Maybe we win that game. But this season may have already been over anyhow. I mean, after you lose a 17-point lead at home to Carolina, But you had a chance at 4-4, knowing that the Redskins already won, knowing that you're playing the Saints next week. You got a wounded team in Dallas coming in. You had a chance to turn things around in your season and have a must-win game at home, and you blow it. They absolutely blow it. We've seen it before. We know this story. We've seen this. But it's just, it's maddening because of how they lose. When you see a defense that doesn't do anything different. I mean, Any offense could run down the field on this team right now. Anyone. I don't care what Buffalo, right? With whoever the quarterback is there, they would put up. I know they put up points today against the Jets, but they would, would they? I mean, even freaking who's that guy? Peterman, right? The Peterman guy. Oh, he would point it up against this team, against this defense. It's frustrating because I know this team is better than what they're playing. And I know it's just funny to say that when they're 4-5 and then they lose a game against a freaking beatable Dallas team and the Clapper there is their head coach and droopy face who's all happy now. And then you see what they do and it's not just that, they do it at home. It's about establishing that home field advantage that they did last season. And this season, they just haven't done it. They haven't done it. And it's frustrating. And I'm sorry for the fans that are there to spend good money, pay good money, to tailgate and to go to games and everything. And look, you're a fan, you're going to do it. I'm not a season ticket holder. This is my season ticket right here. This seat with the TV. This is where I watch just about every game. And I feel for the people. Because they're spending their hard-earned money to go watch this team, and that coaching staff that just does not adjust, lets us down, and the worst losses are when we lose to the fucking Cowboys. Those are the worst ones. Those are the ones that hurt the heart the most. Particularly years like this when Dallas is just they were a freaking walking corpse coming into this week. And we just gave them life. The Eagles' defense was the defibrillator. Here they are. Boom! Gave them life. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But that's the 2018-19 Eagles. I said after Minnesota 8-8, they'll be lucky to be 8-8 now. And I hate this. I hate feeling like this. I hate it. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to have videos like this where I'm doom and gloom. But what have I seen that shows me any different? I know this team is better, but they're just not being coached better. They're just not. It's a failure in all parts. The players, look. Defense, you got to tackle. You got to fight off the blocks and tackle, and they haven't done it. The offense, when there's plays to be made, you got to make them. They haven't made them consistently. 4th and 7, you got to throw beyond 5 or 6 yards. You got to go beyond the sticks. It's a failure across the board. It just is. And it is. It's hard to win consistently in this league. It's hard to win consistently in any sport. I've said that, but it's true. It's hard to do it. The great teams, they do it. They find a way. It's frustrating because it's coming off a championship season, and we thought this team was better. We thought that that the coaches were better than what they're doing. And it's just been it's been bad across the board. It's been bad across the board, and now you can throw injuries at us. I do not want to use injuries as an excuse. I don't want to do that because other teams play through injuries. The Eagles played through injuries last season. I don't want to hear about injuries. I know they're thin in the secondary. I get that. But it's still no excuse to not blitz more, to not try something different, and just do the same crap every damn play. Prevent defense. Soft coverage in the secondary. Every time receivers have free reign to do whatever they want because the secondary gives them such a cushion. Every play, you see it, every play. And it's just, frustrating. So now we're 4-5, and the reality is it's probably going to be a losing season. Seeing what the schedule is ahead of us, the teams we have to play, the way this team is playing right now. There's nothing else to tell me that this isn't going to be a losing season. And it sucks coming off a Super Bowl year. It's awful, and I don't want to say that as a fan. The last thing I ever want to do is say, yeah, this is it. It's a losing season, and we're talking about, what's this, week 10, and I gotta sit here and say what's a losing season. But I haven't seen anything different from this team. I haven't seen anything different, anything to tell me, anything to show me a glimpse of hope to show me that they can turn things around defensively. I know this. I believe in Carson Wentz. I know he's a good quarterback, but he doesn't play defense. Okay? And the defensive coordinator is so damn stubborn. He's the most stubborn coordinator I've ever seen. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. And I really hope they do away with him after this season. I hope it's sooner, but knowing the organization, it probably won't be. They'll probably wait till after the season. There's only so much you can do at this point. So he'll probably be gone after this season. Now you got to find another defensive coordinator. Hope to God it's a better one. Because there's talent on this team, and I don't want to waste it. I do not want to waste this. I just don't. So there's things that need to be corrected, and there's decisions that are going to be made this offseason about players, about coaches. Not so much about Doug Peterson, but some of these other coordinators and whatnot. And they have to correct this thing because there's talent on his team. You have a franchise quarterback. You don't want to waste him. You do not want to waste his career because your defense isn't making plays or because your play calling goes down the tubes after one season. Everyone's got to step up. The players got to step up. The coaches got to step up. What's this team want to be the rest of the season? Are they just going to lay down against New Orleans next week? Or are they going to fight a little bit? Are they going to show us something? Are they going to show us a little heart next week? We'll see. Hey, right now I'm saying this team's going to get blown out next week. And I hate to say that. But I see what the Saints are and I see what we aren't. And that tells me that this is not going to go well next week. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. Stranger things have happened. It's a weird league sometimes. But we got to see what this team is all about. And they got to show us something. And these damn coordinators better damn well show a little something. I don't think they will. I don't think Jim Schwartz will. But my God. That was pathetic tonight. That was absolutely pathetic defensively. Pathetic. And it's been pathetic for most of the season. I share the frustration with Eagles Nation. I do. I get how the only thing that we can actually just look back at is say, well, we won it last season, but I can't use that as solace. So I want this season to be good. We're in this season now. And we've been drugged through the coals this season. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible watching the way this team plays defense. It's laughable. It's laughable. The play calling, the aggressiveness for Doug Peterson just isn't there. I mean, Dallas today, they run a fake on special teams. Why can't we do that? Onside kick. If you know your defense is struggling and your offense is putting it together second half, onside kick. Try something different. Do something different. You say, well, that's desperation. No, it's creativity. It's understanding that the flaw in this team tonight in the second half was on defense. So maybe you try to keep the ball away from Dallas. Maybe you try something different. Frustrating. This was one of the most frustrating losses in a long time. And there's been a slew of them this season, but this one, losing to frickin' Dallas, I hate losing to that team. Particularly when we had a chance to pretty much put them away, and they didn't. And you didn't. Well, we have to look forward to Jimmy Butler this week and the Sixers. Hey, it's not a given, right? Boston's still a lot of good teams in the Eastern Conference, but I'm excited to see Jimmy Butler in a Sixers uniform. I'm excited to see what this team's going to do. I'm hoping the Phillies get Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. I'm hoping they make moves. Be aggressive. You have money, spend it. Get players. If Chris Bryant's being dangled out there by the Cubs, get him. Trade for him. Be aggressive. Because you know what? As much as I hate to say it, and I really hate to say this, I hate to feel this way, but we're not going to get it from our football team this season. So now we got to hope that, okay, well, maybe the Sixers. Well, okay, well, maybe the Phillies are aggressive. Maybe the Flyers can, they still need a little help, but maybe. Shout out to Mark M. But, hey, they're playing a little better. Like I said in the last vid, I'm excited about where we are right now as a city and what our teams are doing. It's an exciting time, even though our football team has been very frustrating. But, you know what? It makes it even more when we lose a game like tonight to think about some of the other teams with the Sixers, and hopefully the Phillies can make some moves and bring that excitement level because, it's nice to have some optionality. So if one of the teams isn't quite going to get it, well, we have others that play well. I'll say this, our basketball team's better than Dallas is so, You don't think the Mavericks fans would love to have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Jimmy Butler right now? Yeah. So we end this video with a laugh, okay? But I listen. Trolls are gonna troll away, whatever. It's an Eagles loss, and that's when I get a lot of views on my vids, and that's when the trolls come out. After the Eagles lose, okay, all right, whatever. That's what they do. But the Eagles go down 27-20. They're now 4-5. They got the Saints on the road next week in the Superdome. I'm not looking forward to that one. And I've seen bad losses for the Eagles over the years, like real bad ones on the road, in places like Denver and different venues, teams that are doing really good at that time. And we go in there and we get our asses handed to us. Seattle got us sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I've seen bad losses on the road. I think next week has a chance to be one of the more epic ones. I really do. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that this team proves me otherwise next week and shows up and plays well, through 4 quarters. Keeps up with the Saints somehow and somehow maybe even comes away with a win. My God, who would have thought that after tonight? But I can't see it. I don't see it. As a fan, I got to be honest about it. I got to tell you how it is, how I see it. I keep it 100% with you. If I don't think the team's doing well, I tell you. If I think they're doing great, I tell you. And right now, this team isn't doing well. So I can't see them walking into New Orleans. As big an Eagle fan as I am, bleed green Eagle fan, I can't see them walking into that stadium and getting a win. No way. I hate to say it, but no way. I can't see them going to L.A. and getting a win. I mean, right now, I can't see how they can beat anybody the way they're playing defensively. But it sucks. It sucks to feel this way as a fan, but this is what the team drove me to this season. Games like tonight and games like we've seen, it hurts. It hurts, but it's the reality of it. It's the reality of it. They're just not good enough. The coaches aren't good enough right now. The team's not good enough. And they've done nothing in these weeks to show us otherwise. They were lucky to win that game in London. They were. But I want Jim Schwartz gone. I want him gone. And I don't think it's going to happen until the offseason. I want him gone. I want a new face and a new voice. And a more aggressive defensive coordinator with better schemes. Knows how to get the most of the players that we have. And adding to that, whoever they get, in free agency or the draft. You know, and it just, there has to be change. There has to be change after this season, if not during the season. There must be change on the defensive coordinator. Has to be. And Doug Peterson's got to get better too. And God bless him. He won a Super Bowl here. He did what no other coach ever did in the Super Bowl era. But he's got to be better. He has got to be better. The offensive plays have got to be. They have to be more creative. They have to be better. You have a franchise quarterback. You got to get the most of him. Don't waste his career here, please. Doug's got to coach better. The players got to play better. And it's on them. It's on them the rest of the season. Even though I kind of know what the rest of the season is going to be, it's on them. If they want to turn this thing around, it's on them. They have to do it. No excuses. All right, Eagles Nation, I went 50 minutes. I'm sorry. Losing to Dallas does this, okay? All right, everyone. I'll see you in the next vid. Take care.